You're listening to The Functional Founder with Themistocles Stergianos, a podcast for owner-operators ready to build high-performance teams, handle growth with confidence, and scale without burning out. Functional Founders, welcome back to another podcast, The Functional Founder, where we help entrepreneurs, functional founders, hopefully like yourself, to grow your businesses to work profitably without you. One of the areas that often gets discussed in coaching sessions with other founders is they want to know more about the sales process of how we manage the sales in our business. In the first couple of years, it was just me selling. Remember when I took this business on many, many years ago, not that many, probably about 7 years ago, I was doing the quotes myself. In fact, it was just me and one Bucky and one installer that was helping me install the system. And I remember going out to a commercial roof and I got the job, and it ended up being quite a few hundred square meters of waterproofing that we had to do in the first company called Waterproof Lab. Incidentally, now we've taken the company to the next level. A couple of years later, we've got key people working in key roles, and we've managed to take this business to a level that I never thought we would so quickly. It's been a challenge, but we're getting there. And I've realized as a functional founder, I need to change the way I do things. So now we've got not just myself, I've removed myself from selling. I've got more people selling. I've got 3 individuals that are now selling our waterproofing system, and I've had to teach them and coach them how to go about that. And now my role as a functional founder is to work more on the numbers so that I can make sure that my team are performing at a high rate. And being a functional founder definitely wasn't one initially. Coaching hundreds of entrepreneurs, if not thousands, in groups, I've realized that it's not easy to eat my cooking. And I taught many entrepreneurs, and I had breakthroughs with entrepreneurs. But growing my own business from the beginning had its challenges for sure. And that one of the biggest challenges was learning to let go. I remember coaching a landscaping firm says that there's no ways, Themi, that I can step out of quoting. And I challenged his belief system. In the previous podcasts, you'll hear that I make use of that example as well, because that was a big turning point for me. I said, I want to get involved with doing the quoting initially for my waterproofing flat roof business, but I'm going to extract myself eventually and make sure that I put systems and the right people in place to do the quoting. So now what I'm doing is I've managed to do that. We've got quite a few systems in place. Initially, it wasn't the case. Every system failed. I've had to go back into selling again. I had to go back into quoting. And I almost thought that that would be my destiny. But that conversation I had with my landscaping friend and colleague or client was life-changing for me, because I had to resist. I said, I'm not going to be the person that coaches a landscaping firm to grow a business, remove himself from the quoting process, and I can't even remove myself. So I am, and I'm going to share with you in this podcast, just a quick spreadsheet that we put together on a weekly basis that measures some key metrics with my salespeople. And one of the big ones is the conversion rate, and the other one is the average sale. Those two I measure like my life depends on it, because it's so important. I know what the industry benchmark should be for a conversion rate, meaning that from quote to sale, there should be a percentage or a metric conversion rate that's relevant to your business. And most founders, they don't measure that specific metric. I'm going to show you, and it's taken years, guys. This is definitely not me bragging, because I'm admitting that I failed at this for years. I've been wanting to get these metrics in place. I've searched high and low. So what I've done is I've managed to find a system that integrates with my online job card system, extracts the relevant information, says, okay, your sales technician did 10 quotes, and out of those 10 quotes, they've converted 5. So therefore, they've got a 50% conversion rate. And that's an important metric to measure, because if someone's not hitting a high conversion rate, then I'm going to start asking questions, because I know what the industry norm is. Does the sales technician need more training? Are our prices too high? Maybe the conversion rate is too high. Then I know that we're actually looking for trouble. Our prices are too low. we should be increasing our prices because our conversion rate in general is too high, and we're soon going to be booked up, and we'll be turning clients away. So that little metric is crucial. Let me see if I can share it with you. I'm hoping I can. Yes, I can. So as you can see on this graph over here, I even call it the conversion rate. So you'll see the sales tech. I've just taken out their names for now. And it's, it comes with a date range. So over a given month, and this is over a given month, we had a number of quotes, 10 of them, and 6 of them were converted. So therefore, the conversion rate is sitting at 37% for this sales technician, sales tech 1. That's the converted sales, and the total amount of the quotes is that amount over there. So we can actually work out that out of 16 quotes, they converted 6. And 37.5%, we could do better. Okay. The sales tech 2, there was an issue with that specific individual. So he didn't have any conversions during that month, but he did quote. And then sales tech 3, we can see is running a low conversion rate. So we can see 18 quotes delivered. We've got converted 4. So therefore, it's a 22% conversion rate. So I can see on average, our conversion rate is sitting for the company, sitting just below 30%. That, founders, is not healthy. I realize I need to attend more to my sales because that should be closer to 45, 50. Now, we measure this on rolling averages. 2 weeks ago, it was sitting at 47%. It's dropped. This obviously is not for the same date recently. Our 47% is more or less where it's sitting, maybe a little bit low. It's dropped a bit, but it's sitting around there. But this is just an example to illustrate that what we don't measure, we can't improve on. And it's important for us to understand that what we don't measure, we can't improve. What we measure, we can improve on. So getting these reports is one thing, but physically having our meetings to discuss these metrics is another. And I disclose those metrics to my team. I put them up on the board for everyone to see. In fact, I present it to my team. I said, okay, sales technician 1, this is your average sale. This is your conversion rate. This is where we think you can improve. And maybe there's some questions. Where do you think you can improve? So again, functional founders, this is my attempt to share and open up my business to functional founders out there that want to take their business to the next level. This is one element of our business that we work on. We work on quite a few others. In other words, that if the conversion rate has some strategies, what about the average sale? So we looked at that sales technician 2. We looked at their conversion rate was lower, but the average sale was far higher. So we realized that we need to give and take a little bit in our discussions with them. But we also realized that now with these tools in place, we can hire another sales technician. And we're looking for A players who can take this business to the next level, who will climb into these metrics, and we'll measure them too. The point being that these sales are happening without me having to be in the business doing every single quote myself. Because we realized if I had to do a time audit, especially when I started, 70% of my time was spent putting quotes together for clients. And that's looking for trouble. Because if you're putting quotes together for clients the whole time and you're not teaching your team to do it, who's growing your business? So founders, that's what I have for this week. If you liked what you heard in this podcast and you want to hear more, please comment in the post below. I'd love to hear from you. I reply to every single comment. And I also want to hear from you as functional founders. Are there any particular areas in your business that you need help with that we can bring up in these podcasts going forward? Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Thank you for joining the Functional Founder. This podcast grows through you, our founder community. Please share this with someone who needs it and click on the subscribe button. That way, more people can join us.